The Acrocanthosaurus is one of the most downloaded creatures on Ark Survival Ascended. Everyone loves the design of this creature, and now it has been released to official maps. But is the Acrocanthosaurus any good? Hello Dodo Crew and welcome back for another video on Ark Survival Ascended. Grab a bottle of water and let's get straight into it. Currently, you can find the Acro on the Island Scorched Earth, Extinction, Lost Colony, Descent of El Guerrero, Ragnarok and Astreas, meaning you cannot tame it on Aberration, which also means you should not be able to bring it there. It spawns around rivers and is very easy to find. You can basically find it everywhere you can find Rexes, as they are sharing their spawns. For people who do not want to search for an Acro, I put the spawn commands in the video description. Just fill in the level you want and you're good to go. To be honest, the Acro is one of the toughest creatures in the entire game if you want to tame it. For those of you who are already familiar with the mod creature, nothing has changed. For everyone else, here's a quick explanation. To tame it, you basically need two things. First, any of the 3 knockout items, but Biotoxin is the most efficient resource. And basically a decent PvP kit with a good damage dealing weapon, either a pump action shotgun or a sniper rifle, and some armor and med brews, because taming it is kinda hard. In addition, you can also bring a mount, which makes everything a bit easier and also protects you a little in case something goes wrong. But you need to watch out, you need a mount you can shoot from. A Pyromane is especially well suited for this. You can jump on and off it very quickly, which makes taming the Acro a bit easier. First, you need to find an Acro, and it's best to go for the strongest one you can find right away. You want to tame this creature as rarely as possible, because it's really hard and require a lot of ammo and resources. Then, put your narcotics or biotoxin in your last slot, and we can start taming the Acro. After that, climb onto your creature and try to get the Acro's aggro, which isn't easy at all since it is extremely aggressive and will attack everything in its area. So maybe clear the area of other creatures first so you don't run into any problems. And be careful, where one Acro spawns, a second one usually spawns too, and you really don't need a second Acro trying to eat you the whole time while you're taming the other one. Once you have its aggro, just start dealing damage to the aggro by shooting it with your weapon. Whenever you deal a certain amount of damage to the aggro, it will start to roar. You have to make sure it lowers its head. If it raises its head, that's the wrong roar and it will eat you. If it keeps its head down, you have to act fast. Jump off your mount, run to the aggro's mouth and throw the narcotics down its throat. You only have a few seconds to do this, and if you're too slow, it will hit you and knock you back a bit. After you have given him the narcotics, you need to run away quickly, otherwise he will hit you pretty fast and deal a ton of damage. Repeat this a few times until the aggro lands unconscious on the ground, and then you can feed and tame it. To tame it, you need one of its preferred foods: raw meat, raw prime meat, raw mutton or exceptional kibble. Better bring some extra narcotics, because if you're taming it on official, it will eat around 20 exceptional kibble, 35 raw mutton or 44 prime meat, resulting in a taming process lasting between 1 and 2 hours, and it loses torpor pretty fast. After taming, you will receive a new dossier. They are breedable, lay eggs, and you can get the usual imprinting bonus for extra stats. Once tamed, you'll get the saddle at level 77 and have a new, extremely powerful creature. And since you're always asking about it, I've created a new category for this video. I've compiled a list of where you can find saddles for all creatures. The Acrocanthosaurus saddles spawn in 55 different loot drop locations on all maps except Aberration. There are no spawns for the saddle there and you cannot get them. At each of the locations where the saddle can spawn, you also have a chance to get a blueprint. You will find most spawns on the island and Astreas, basically in all beacons that are better than purple drops, meaning purple, yellow, red and underwater beacons, deep sea crates, in caves and in the ice cave, but in the ice cave you can only get it in the red ones. On Australis, there are no underwater beacons and the ice cave beacons are missing, but aside from that, Australis and the island share the drops very well. You'll find the saddles there just like on the island. Additionally, the saddles also spawn on Ragnarok in the desert crates. For this, it's best to fly over the locations with a Meguana and loot them every 45 minutes. On Scorched Earth, the saddles are in the treasure chests, all beacons better than yellow, and the desert drops. On Lost Colony, you can find the saddles in hard outpost missions, whether it is attack or defense. On the centers, the saddles are only in red beacons, and Extinction is probably the worst spot, because there you can only get them from the 3 titans. Additionally, the Acro saddle is available on all maps in the Dragon Horde keys, which you can obtain with a Drakeling. For anyone who found that this was too fast, I've also listed the locations in the video description. You can easily look them up there. The Acro introduces a few cool new mechanics to the game that are especially useful in PvP. In addition to his regular attacks with the left mouse button, he can use the right mouse button to perform a side stomp, which deals additional damage to creatures within a specific area and knocks them back. When you press the C key, you can enter shield stance. In this stance, the aggro turns to one side and takes around 30% less damage from attacks. Attacks on this side now increase your adrenaline bar and grant you a new attack. Your stomp attack now becomes a headbutt, and you can use it to attack structures like stone, metal, and even tech, dealing damage to them. You just need to get very close to do so. The attack scales with melee damage, meaning that with a bit of breeding and mutations, you can create an extremely powerful creature here. When your adrenaline reaches 100%, you can press the spacebar to activate adrenaline mode. This boosts your damage resistance, speed, stamina, and health regeneration, turning the aggro into an absolute monster. When you stomp to the ground, you now stomp 3 times and deal even more damage than before. In this mode, he becomes so strong that he can even defeat creatures like Karchers or Gigas with ease, without even taking damage. Besides being a strong and versatile creature, the Acrocanthosaurus has several key roles in both PvP and PvE. The Acrocanthosaurus can enter a shield stance, allowing it to absorb massive amounts of damage. While taking hits, it builds up adrenaline. Once full, it gains a temporary buff, which makes it extremely hard to kill and deal more damage to other creatures and structures. The aggro is very effective at taking down alpha creatures, especially low-level ones. Its shield stance lets it safely tank incoming damage, while its high damage output finishes the fight quickly. However, against high-level alpha creatures like Rexes, you'll need stronger stats in health and melee to avoid getting overwhelmed. One of the aggro's strongest roles is soaking turrets in PvP. In shield stance, it can absorb an enormous amount of damage, protect the rider and nearby creatures, and build adrenaline. Once adrenaline activates, you gain a window to either push the raid or safely fall back and heal. It can also damage metal structures, making it a powerful creature during raids. With proper breeding and good saddles, the aggro can be used in boss fights. It performs especially well against the Broodmother and the Manticore, since it is immune to torpor and can quickly trigger adrenaline during the fight. That said, you should always bring backup creatures and healing support. And the aggro's stomp attack can damage stone structures, meaning it deals full damage to rock elementals. This makes it a strong and reliable option on maps like Scorched Earth, where golems are commonly encountered. I mean, do I even need to answer whether the aggro is good? I cannot imagine it staying this way, because in my opinion, it's too powerful. It looks amazing, is fun to play, and has so many useful abilities that it's a must-have for PvP, even though it's one of the hardest creatures to get. But here, Wildcard has added a new apex predator to the game, and I'm curious to see how it will change the meta. I hope you liked this video, and I'm thrilled to read if this video has helped you. Hit the like button, leave a comment below for the algorithm, and consider subbing to the channel. Alright, Frodo.